So Brock Purdy has been lethally efficient heading into this 49ers game against the Browns tomorrow. And a lot of people are coming around to giving him credit for this because it obviously isn't easy. Some aren't, but this is why we're making this video. Brock Purdy, watch the tape, because if you don't watch the tape, you're not going to appreciate just how good he is. Purdy's about to face a number one defense for the second week in a row. This is tape from how he picked apart the previous number one defense. You play Brock Purdy and the 49ers and you enter as the number one defense, you're probably not going to leave as the number one unit. We'll see how the Browns fare, but the Cowboys, it wasn't very good. You're going to notice on tape that the Dallas Cowboys are very, very aggressive. This is a pursuit-based defense. The 49ers did some setting up. They set the Cowboys up so they could burn their pursuit as the game went along. See, look, watch Dallas flow. 49ers, to their credit, the 49ers did not break away from their own preferences and their own tendencies. They liked the outside zone. They decided to go outside zone because what did that do? It helped set Dallas up. Last year in the playoffs, the 49ers faced a bit of an emergency at halftime. They weren't moving the ball the way they wanted to, and they had to win the playoff game. They weren't trying to set anything up at that point, so they started running power. But more patient game plan this time allowed them to really, really put Dallas in a vulnerable position where they wanted them. All right, here's Purdy's first throw of the game. Shotgun. It's only a four-man rush. Brock Purdy recognizes that it's zone coverage. That's key right there. When he recognizes his zone coverage, he knows he's going to have a freebie underneath to Brandon Ayuk. The Cowboys play cover one man 63% of the time, or they played cover one 63% of the time entering this game. If you want to know what cover one is, I'm going to run a quick stop right here. One of the safeties comes down into the box. So you see Jaron Curse down in the box near the SF logo. One safety deep for the Dallas Cowboys. So because they only have one safety deep, that means that they have extra numbers in the box against the run. Normally, you're going to see a ton of man coverage out of formations like this. The previous play, we saw some zone. Brock Purdy did a good job to recognize the zone and hit Brandon Ayuk underneath. All right, let's roll the tape. Purdy is going to hand off again. It's still that patient game plan for the 49ers. Cowboys are at home early in the game. If you remember, against the run, I will say, if you remember how the January game went, the Cowboys were all over 49ers perimeter runs early. It wasn't until the second half that the 49ers got the run game going, but you'll see how they got it going a little bit sooner this time. But it's just good, disciplined work from Dallas. The thing is, the 49ers aren't doing anything tricky yet. Dallas is all over it with DeMarcus Lawrence, with Jaron Curse, that safety, number one. He's the extra guy in the box. 49ers having trouble running against that more stacked front, but it's okay because Brock Purdy can loosen the defense up with his arm. That's exactly what he's going to do here off of the fake. Purdy sees that stacked box, sees that beating the Cowboys is going to require a throw outside the numbers. Again, Jaron Curse, bottom left, number one. I'm going to pause it here. Do you see Curse? That's the safety. He's creeping up toward the box. The Cowboys have that area stacked. The 49ers just came off of a run up the middle, so this is going to be a fake to Christian McCaffrey. And the way to beat this defense is to go outside the numbers to Brandon Ayuk. That's a nice throw. Pitch and catch for the 49ers because Brock Purdy's good at this. Brock Purdy's a hell of a QB. And you're going to get more and more evidence of that the longer this drive goes. 1st and 10 for the 49ers. Purdy, shotgun, underneath. Deebo Samuel thrown down. This was offsides against the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas a little prematurely excited over what they thought was a fumble. It might have been, but Micah Parsons jumped, as you'll see here on the right side. See the little jump trying to get an advantage against Trent Williams. By the way, Trent against Myles Garrett tomorrow. And as you can see in this tape, Micah is going to show his weakness. The 49ers run right at him. He's a springy guy, but he's not much of a straight-on run defender. He's a pursuer, and the 49ers took advantage of that, the fact that there's some over-pursuit from Micah Parsons. Next drop, Purdy, underneath. Well, I'm going to have to play that one again because we had our text title in the way. Why don't we remove the text title? Why don't we rewind this just a few seconds to watch Purdy hit Deebo Samuel on the out pattern. My apologies. A little bit further. Under center. Straight drop, quick drop. That's key too. These quick drops, you're not letting Dallas's pass rush establish themselves. But you have to have really good timing. You have to be in sync with your receiver. And that quick out throw, Purdy obviously in sync with Deebo Samuel. Do not take the short game for granted. The 49ers, in the Trey Lance experiment, he just couldn't figure out the short game. He couldn't figure out stuff like this consistently, and it's the bread and butter of an offense. 3-step drop, ball's out on time. It's not as easy as it looks. Really, really important stuff for the 49ers to convert there. So now they're approaching the red zone. And we're about to have our first highlight reel play from Brock Purdy. It's coming up very, very soon. I formation for the 49ers on this one. Pitch right, Christian McCaffrey. They're still trying to run their wide zone. What they're doing is they're still trying to sucker that Dallas defense into over pursuit. Trust me, it's going to pay off for the 49ers as this game progresses. Watch the flow. The end zone angle is very good to watch the flow of the offense and the flow of the defense. The offensive line is going to look like an accordion stretching to the right. Zone blocking scheme. They're getting hats on hats. McCaffrey's getting some yardage. 3-4 yards. I mean, that's significant on these first downs because it's going to set stuff up later in the game. Might even directly set up this next play. Good down and distance. Purdy shotgun. Nothing there. Now something's there. Steps up, fires, finds George Kittle for the touchdown. A whole hell of a lot to like here. Before we go to the end zone angle, let's watch here from the top. So again, single high safety for Dallas. Purdy facing a 4-man rush. If you watch at the bottom of the screen, right above my head, that's DeMarcus Lawrence, number 90. He's beating Colton McKivitz. He's beating him around the hoop. We call that around the hoop. He's beating him around the outside. If Brock Purdy is a statue on this play, DeMarcus Lawrence is going to get a sack. And at this point, look around the entire field. There's nobody open. Absolutely nobody open. Dallas has this play very well covered. George Kittle needs to clear the face of the high safety before he even has a chance to get open down toward the right side of the screen. If Purdy throws the ball to George Kittle right now, it's a pick. If he throws it to the left side, Jawan Jennings or Deebo Samuel, it's a pick. On the bottom of your screen, Brandon Ayuk covered by Gilmore. That's also not going to go anywhere. Christian McCaffrey, he hasn't even had a chance to beat his defender yet. So the point is that the 49ers pass protection hasn't held up long enough for Purdy to just be able to sit there and throw. Purdy's going to have to buy some time. This is how you help your offensive line out. Instead of bailing the pocket like he might have done last year and rolled to the left, Purdy says, I'm going to step up. Look at that. Steps up. All of a sudden, the play starts to develop. Now, what happens in the middle of the field, look at the 15-yard line. McCaffrey is running an in-breaking route against Jaron Kearse, the safety, and Leighton Vander Esch, the linebacker, has helped Jaron Kearse. So McCaffrey's double-teamed. Underneath, Deebo Samuel's not open. On top, Jawan Jennings is covered. At the bottom, good coverage from Gilmore on Brandon Ayuk. But at the top of the screen, because Brock Purdy has bought extra time, George Kittle has cleared the face of the safety. He's open, and Brock Purdy throws an absolute dart on the run. You'll appreciate the difficulty and the precision of this throw more from this angle right here. Purdy shotgun, beats Lawrence around the hoop by stepping up, and look at that. Perfectly feathers it in there. Touchdown for George Kittle. We talk about George Kittle beating cover one man coverage because there was so much glue on the underneath guys. Again, back to the all 22 here. Whenever you run cover one man and you're deciding to go man on all of the 49ers eligibles, which is what the Cowboys are doing, you decide which guy you want to help out with a double team, and that's Christian McCaffrey in the middle. So McCaffrey is the gravitational force that is drawing two defenders. Yes, there's a defender that did drop back, so there's an extra defender on this play, but it's a weird kind of zone coverage from the help defender, and George Kittle can clear the face of the safety for the score. They made it look easy, but it's not. And the reason they're able to get this kind of spacing is because they have superstars around the field, and Brock Purdy is pulling the strings perfectly. Again, Purdy, Despite the fact that McKivitz loses there, well, not a clean loss, but it's definitely a little bit of a struggle against DeMarcus Lawrence. Steps up. That is not an easy throw. He is doing much more than managing the game with that touchdown. All right, we talked about Dallas's over-aggressiveness. The 49ers burn it on the very next drive. This is the flea flicker. Touchdown, George Kittle. We might bring it back to that view, but I want to watch the end zone angle first. So, pistol formation. Remember when I noticed at the start of the New York Giants game that the 49ers were putting the pistol on tape? I said, what, this is on Twitter. Those of you who follow me on Twitter, I'm like, ooh, 49ers have come out in the pistol in 2 straight games. Pistol formation is McCaffrey lined up directly behind Brock Purdy. They don't run a lot of pistol, the 49ers. Very, very little pistol. But for some reason, they ran it really early on against the Giants. Well, it turns out they might have been setting something up for the Cowboys because they ran standard runs out of the pistol against New York on Thursday night. So out of the pistol, they run what looks to be a standard run, but it quickly turns into something very, very different. Watch the flow of Dallas's defense. Here comes the pitch to McCaffrey. I'm going to stop it right after the pitch to McCaffrey. This entire defense is they think they're being disciplined. They think they're flowing to McCaffrey. But what's happening is Jake Brendel, the center, 64, right above McCaffrey, is already turning around. That's how precise this 49ers offense is on this play. Brendel is turning around before McCaffrey even pitches to Samuel so he could seal off the Deebo Samuel portion of this play so that Brock Purdy has time to get the pitch back and find George Kittle. All right, a little bit further. Now it's in Deebo Samuel's hands. Jake Brendel has executed a good block. He's slowed down Osa Odigizua. That's going to give Brock Purdy time to grab this ball from Deebo Samuel. And now the Cowboys are in oh crap mode. Look at them. They've all bit on the double fake. They have all bit. Leighton Vander Esch might be angling backwards, but he's still within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And George Kittle's way past that. And Purdy delivers with Odigizua blowing him up. Touchdown 49ers. Full speed, because full speed will help us appreciate just the choreography. It's like a ballet here. Now also appreciate Purdy hanging in there and delivering a dart even while getting drilled. Look how quickly this develops. Dallas, their heads are spinning, and Purdy deals to George Kittle. So that's a defense that loves to pursue. A defense that loves to pursue was so eager to pursue Christian McCaffrey and then Deebo Samuel that the 49ers suckered them in. Look at that. Everybody is crashing in on the box, and the pitch back to Purdy is already happening. Now, one thing that sells this play is that George Kittle is still in the scrum right now. It's not like George Kittle just released out right away. George Kittle actually sold a run block fake. So the Cowboys still legitimately at this point believe that it's a that it's a running play and George Kittle's run blocking. The only way you can get away with this, though, is if George Kittle has elite speed, 4.5 speed. Because as soon as he turns on the Jets right now, he's gone. He beats a DB. He needs to beat the DB in that short of a period of time because Purdy is about to get drilled, as you can see by Osa Odigizua. Purdy hangs in there, delivers the dart to George Kittle. So this is a play that the 49ers had installed in an NFC Championship game, but they didn't throw because Purdy's elbow was shredded. The Lions ran it, but then the 49ers ran it better. Same play, ran on the same day, touchdown for an Iowa tight end, Sam Laporta for Detroit, and George Kittle for the 49ers. Phenomenal, phenomenal stuff. Beat the over pursuit. They had it planned for Dallas. I really think they took that pistol formation that they showed on tape against the Giants and used it to fool Dallas because obviously Dallas was watching all the 49ers tape. This is what I mean by the 49ers calling plays to set up games later in the season. Now they're going to be setting stuff up for Philadelphia. These guys are good enough to be setting stuff up for future opponents and for the postseason. So if you see a strange formation like the pistol, well, it might be to set up a trick play out of the pistol against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm just saying that's an example. It was an example that worked out here for the 49ers against the Dallas Cowboys after what they showed against the New York Giants. All right, penalty backs the 49ers up. Now we're going to get to see Brock Purdy. Oh, that's dirty. Purdy's dirty over the middle to Brandon Ayuk, and the 49ers are well on their way to 30, which would have become 40, but that doesn't rhyme with 30, Purdy, or dirty. This is a layered throw. By this point, the 49ers have Dallas on their heels, and this is the drive where Purdy really knifes them. Look at, oh my goodness. The anticipation, the accuracy. Purdy is the most accurate quarterback in NFL history on intermediate passes. Pockets, I mean, this is not the cleanest pocket. DeMarcus Lawrence is beating Trent Williams here. Purdy has to step up. He doesn't bail the pocket. Again, last year I think we might see him fade or try to step out to the left. No, he doesn't care. He's going to throw in the face of pressure, and then he's going to throw this just out of the reach of Leighton Vander Esch to set up Brandon Ayuk, who just gets tripped up, and that's why Brandon was upset, because he thought that if Gilmore didn't trip him up, he'd be able to run for a while. So there's that throw, and then there's more on this drive. I mean, this is the drive where I think Brock Purdy erased any doubt that he's an elite quarterback in this NFL. The throws that he made on this drive were absolutely phenomenal, with a Christian McCaffrey run in between for us to cleanse our palates. Wait till you see some of the intermediate passing data, the metrics that I show you after we finish with the tape after this drive, because it truly is staggering stuff that Brock Purdy is doing. And, I think that to appreciate some of the data, you got to watch the tape first. You have to see the accuracy that he just delivered on that intermediate pass to appreciate the numbers, which are absolutely otherworldly on throws 10 to 20 yards downfield. And those are the spine of Shanahan's offense. I guess we get 2 McCaffrey runs to cleanse our palate here on this drive. Pitch right. Again, even later in the game, the 49ers are staying committed to the run. You diffuse Dallas's pass rush this way. I mean, these guys really, really get after the quarterback. They like getting on their toes, getting after the QB, pursuing. You see them pursuing. They're flailing a little bit, but run right at them, take the steam out of that pass rush. So important to do against a team like the Dallas Cowboys. All right, here we go. Now we're finally going to get to see Purdy throw again. I believe this is 3rd down after a couple McCaffrey runs. Purdy in that shotgun. 4-man rush. There's only one place he can go. Oh my God. I'm erasing my face off of this screen so we can watch this at full speed one more time. Bottom side of your screen, Brandon Ayuk. Are you kidding me? That's the only possible place that throw can go, and it completely shuts up every doubter of Brock Purdy. Well, it should shut up every doubter of Brock Purdy, because the very terrible prevailing narrative was, oh, this guy can't beat you outside the numbers. Well, look what Dallas is doing here. They're taking away the middle of the field. They might have read the tweets of some people who don't know what they're talking about. Okay, Purdy can only beat us over the middle. Let's stack the middle of the field here with our extra defenders, completely sealing the middle of the field. The only place, and the leverage is to the inside here from the guy who's guarding Brandon Ayuk here near the 40-yard line. The only place where Purdy is going to be able to beat the Dallas Cowboys, given this coverage in this situation, is on the outside corner to Brandon Ayuk, with the sideline acting as a defender as well. So he has to drop it in front of the sideline behind the defender. What does he do with Micah Parsons in his face? Drops it in front of the sideline behind the defender. An absolutely perfect throw. Now, this one got called back due to holding. Spencer Burford held here, but that's not the point. We're watching Brock Purdy operate this offense with absolute precision. You can see this from the end zone angle now. Shotgun. Parsons coming in. Look, oh my, it's just a seed. It's an absolute seed. It's an elite throw. Now, when you see an elite throw and then you see it get called back due to holding, you're like, ooh, that's demoralizing. What are the 49ers going to do? It's 3rd and 20 now. Well, what's Brock Purdy going to do? He's just going to convert the 3rd and 20. Over the middle, Deebo Samuel, layered throw. Here comes the yak. Oh, Deebo Samuel gets a lot of credit for that yak, but here's what I mean when quarterbacks deserve credit for yak too. That yak doesn't happen if Brock Purdy does not do this. Complete strike. Deebo Samuel rumbles for about 20 after the catch. Yes, Brock deserves credit for that too. It is a team sport. Clean pocket. Cowboys trying to drop back in a deeper zone on 3rd and long. Well, you just feather it over the zone. Look where that throw comes out. Samuel's coming out as, I could even rewind it about a second more. Well, we can't see Deebo yet, unfortunately. But he throws that as Deebo is breaking. So the Dallas defense has to react to that. That gives the 49ers the head start. And that throw couldn't be any more perfect. Just the nuances of all this accuracy-wise. There's a DB, 6. Look at 6. If this throw is leading Deebo Samuel a little bit too much, 6 over on the right side of your screen is going to light him up. So Purdy intentionally allows Deebo to slightly sit so he doesn't get hit. And it also sets up Yak because then Deebo can accelerate, and 6 was all wound up to try to hit him. Instead, Deebo runs right around number 6. I mean, stuff like that is Brock Purdy is pulling the tiniest of strings to make just to generate extra yardage, to generate extra points. It is elite level stuff. No, you can't just plug Mac Jones in and have him do that. Mac Jones is one of the worst QBs in the league right now with New England. No, he doesn't have the talent that the 49ers do, but he's also not capable of pulling the tiny strings that Brock Purdy is pulling. Nice quick release, little 3/4 angle to Kyle Juszczyk. It is fantastic football that we are seeing from Brock Purdy right now, and we should sit back and appreciate it. Next, he has Myles Garrett, Grant Delpit, that Cleveland defense. I think Cleveland is a little over-aggressive in the linebacking core. I think the 49ers might have similar opportunities as they did against Dallas to really soften Cleveland up with some running, maybe a little bit of misdirection. But Purdy, the softening is going to have to happen with Purdy's arm, and it has happened so far every single week of this season. Christian McCaffrey's faced a lot of stacked boxes this season, and Brock Purdy has made defenses pay. Play fake, touchdown, George Kittle. At this point, Dallas has been completely tenderized. We'll watch it from the end zone angle, but to finish this off, we'll watch the all 22 of that again. At this point, the run game, the over pursuit, the 49ers have capitalized on it. There's the fake. Look at the nice little cut block that Christian McCaffrey delivers after the fake. Look at all of Dallas, including Jaron Kearse, the key defender here in the middle, leaning forward. He's like stumbling over himself because he was crashing in toward Christian McCaffrey. As soon as that happens, somebody with George Kittle's athleticism is going to release and easily get behind the defense. It doesn't matter that Kearse is recovered by now because Kittle's already behind him. Purdy just floats that one up there for the touchdown. Beautiful, beautiful offense. I promised the all 22 look at this. So let's go one more time. It might help you appreciate Dallas biting on this fake. This is offense singing. Fake. Look at the interior defender's bite, including Jaron Kearse, who's that extra cover one safety. He's bit, and now they have no chance. Oops, sorry, this is the wrong one. There, that was actual running play. He bit on the actual running play, as he should, but you can't bite on the fake. So it's funny that I mistook those two plays because they bite in a very similar way. Look at Kearse. Stepped in. George Kittle's already behind him. They bite in the same way on the fake, and Kittle's going to be open over the top. Boom. 49ers beat the Cowboys 42-10. So we are seeing historic intermediate efficiency from Brock Purdy. Case in point right here. This is completion percentage over expectation to every level of the field. Blue is good, red is bad. So Brock Purdy up here, his total CPOE, completion percentage over expectation, plus 7.1, behind only Josh Allen and Tua Tagovailoa. Funny enough, Brock Purdy behind the line of scrimmage is below expectation on 27 passes. Trying to remember, there must be some that were batted down or something that happened. But what really is astounding is this. Look at on intermediate passes, 29 passes. He has a CPOE, completion percentage of expectation, of 29.7%. About 30% better than the expectation. Nobody else is even close. Tua's at 19.1. Russell is at 19.8 or 19.9. Purdy's at 29.8. He's also over expectation on deep passes, 5.5%. It all comes out to being one of the top 3 most accurate quarterbacks in the league. We have more data. This is Brandon Ayuk. Look at Brandon Ayuk. His PFF separation grade and his PFF catch point and YAC grade puts him all the way up here, upper right. Brandon Ayuk doing a job for the 49ers this season. I'm telling you, this is an offense that is absolutely singing for the 49ers. Then how about this? EPA versus perfectly covered plays and EPA versus non-perfectly covered plays. No quarterback has been more efficient than Brock Purdy against perfectly covered plays. He's all the way to the right. He's also been one of the best against non-perfectly covered plays. But screw that system talk. Perfectly covered plays, he still wins. Now everybody's like, his dot's too small. That means the sample's small. He's had 30 plays that have been perfectly covered, and he still is the only quarterback in the NFL who is above 0 efficiency, who's in the positive right here. Brock Purdy, positive efficiency over 30 plays. So the sample is small, yes. That's a credit to the 49ers and how they run their offense. But even over 30 throws, it's not tiny. And Brock Purdy is still getting it done. He can only succeed over the sample which he is given. You can't criticize him over a sample that doesn't exist. And then quarterback efficiency here, CPOE on the x-axis. He's far to the right. EPA, efficiency, that's the important one. On the y-axis, he is the most efficient quarterback in football. Moving up there. Top right, that's exactly where you want to be. So that sets the table. Brock Purdy against #1 Browns defense. Trent Williams, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward's going to be one of the DBs on the other end. Grant Delpit, good player as well. Good pass rush. It's a test again for the 49ers. Might be raining in Cleveland, but Brock Purdy has been playing at an elite level. Took down a #1 defense last week. I think that helped you see why, and he has a chance to take down another #1 defense tomorrow in Cleveland. We'll see you there. Hope you enjoyed the film breakdown.